Can you just give us your reaction to adding a player like Dickinson, the types of things that he'll help with, how you plan to use him?
I think, well, first of all, I know Jason a little bit from just coaching against him. I've never met him, but I know the type of player he is, and I think he's a good fit for our team. I think it's something we've been looking for is a guy who can skate. He's big, but a really good shutdown centerman. And that should alleviate some of the pressure on McDavid, Draisaitl, not having to play against the best players all the time. You can have a good shutdown line, and whoever you pair him with, they can play against other teams' top lines. McDavid and Draisaitl can, obviously, they'll have some heavy competition, but maybe not as heavy all the time. So I think that's a big benefit of that. And also, he's an elite penalty killer. And we envision him being part of our penalty kill.
So you had Murphy and you had Dickinson, who have this sort of specialized defensive skills. I know it hasn't been where you want it to be defensively lately. Do you feel like with these adds and enough attention to detail, you can get this team where it needs to be to have success in the playoffs defensively?
Absolutely. This isn't an issue. We weren't looking to score or add more goals. I think playing these guys will contribute a little bit, but it wasn't on our radar that we need to find ways to score more goals. It's about getting better defensively and guys who can play and also play with a little bit of an edge and play playoff hockey. And, I think we got exactly that from those type of players that we added.
You added another young player in Dach. What do you envision his role with the team moving forward here?
I think he's going to be a guy that adds a little sandpaper to our team, a little bit of grit, gets in the forecheck, finishes checks, allows the opposition, especially the opposition defenseman, to know that we're a hard team to play against. And, they got to move the puck quickly or else they're getting hit. He's up there in hits. I know he has more hits than anybody on our team right now. And, and he can also score the odd goal. You don't want guys just running around and hitting. You got to be able to play the game, and he can do that. So physicality is number one, but also playing a good all-around game.
First full practice for Murphy. What are your first impressions, and is there any who you will play him with tomorrow?
I think he'll be moving around a little bit. I think he's going to start with Wallman. That allows Wallman to play his strong side. We got lefty-righty on every unit right now, or every pair. So, that's something we're going to start with, but I think we'll play around with it a little bit too.
So if we can just dig back in a little bit on Dickinson, you've never really had that traditional third-line center that you described, checker, penalty killer, maybe Henrique. But my point is this. On this team, McDavid always plays against the other team's best players. And if you're saying that now you can employ Dickinson in that way, that ice time's got to come from somewhere. Do we see a coaching situation where maybe you can change some things that you've traditionally done around here?
Yeah, we have the option of, more line matchups. That's something we haven't done very much just because of, that's just not only because of personnel. It's also the players that we have and how much Connor and Leon play and how important it is that they're on the ice as much as they are. So if you're always chasing matchups, it does make it difficult for, it takes away shifts from them. But I think we've got a line that I'll probably use more of a shutdown role than we have in the past.
Is there any concern that with Lazar out, you have no right shot centers? I mean, if Roslovic's a winger, although do you see Roslovic maybe taking some face-offs on that side?
Roslovic is very good on the face-offs. I guess the biggest thing would be probably on the penalty kills. Even when Lazar was in the lineup, he wasn't always taking the penalty kill, especially or the face-offs, especially when Rico came back. Rico took over because Rico and Xavier are a pretty good pair. And for Rico being on his offside for those face-offs, he is one of the better guys at that position. He's not as good as on his left side as he is on his right, but overall he is still pretty good on that right side. missing Lazar as that right-handed face-off guy, but I think we've got some pretty good centermen who can take some draws too.
Kris, these new guys aren't going to get a lot of time. You're going to throw them into the fire. You got kind of murderer's row coming up here with these next 4 games. I just wanted to give you a thought on the importance of this stretch here, this game tomorrow, and then the 4 games on the road.
Yeah, the stretch is as difficult as any during this year. Carolina, Vegas, Dallas, and then back-to-back with St. Louis after that. Like it's a difficult stretch, but I think also after the deadline, there's also a lot of enthusiasm. Guys are excited about the additions, and also it's a good challenge for us. So, I think it's a good timing.
Kris, when it comes to getting them up to speed as quickly as possible with what's going on here, any advantage to having all 3 of these new faces come from the same place?
I think it's, we have talked to Connor Murphy already, talked about our systems, what we expect, how we play the game. And there's a lot of similarities to what we're doing here as what they're doing in Chicago. So I think the transition will be a lot easier for those 3 guys. But ultimately, it's playing hockey on your instincts and those players feeling they have a role in being able to play, and that's how they're going to help us the most.
For your penalty kill, I spoke to Murphy yesterday, and he said he doesn't really see any differences in the system that what you do that in Chicago. And he talked about continuity, and they have the same 4 guys out all the time. Now you have 2 of them. So is it safe to say that I know Dickinson's a forward, him and Murphy, would you like to have them out together? And do you have an idea on which forward you maybe want to kill with Dickinson?
I don't think you can plan on having a top 2 forwards, top 2 defensemen out there all together. So often somebody's tired, whether the 2 forwards are on different lines and you can't go with them, or the 2 defensemen. I do expect both of them spending a lot of time on our penalty kill. And I'm not going to say they're going to have the majority of our penalty kill time, or they're going to be out there quite a bit. So they'll be out there together a lot. So, but to say that they'll be out there together all the time, I just don't think it's going to be, it's going to happen.
And I know it's early and hasn't been here yet, but do you have a forward that you think you'd like to start paired with him? Because usually you kind of run pairs, it seems, this year.
Well, the 2 pairs that we have right now, I think have been working really good with Rico and Savvy, McDavid and Nuge together. And that last penalty killer will probably be Kapanen with Dickinson.